Hey everyone, what's up and welcome. So early this morning I woke up and I was just browsing my phone and my girlfriend had in a panic sent me a DM saying she had seen leaked marathon gameplay. So she sent me the tweet and I quickly realized it wasn't leaked marathon gameplay, but it was another game that was being promoted by a guy who goes by the name of Septic Sauce on Twitter, who captioned the gameplay "marathon gameplay leaked." Now I will say this game honestly does look like, at least from the aesthetics of the weapon models, looks like something that gameplay of marathon could resemble when we do see it on Saturday. Now I think that this game is honestly good enough on its own to just give a full dedicated video to plug, and I don't want to make this all about marathon, but it is a good little sneak peek as to what we could potentially expect on Saturday when the gameplay reveal goes down. Now when it comes to the actual gameplay itself, aside from the looks, I think that this game is awesome and something that a lot of people should probably try out, just because the demo is out on Steam right now and it's completely free. It was so much fun. It was only like 40 minutes. It was like 2 missions, first of which was basically just a tutorial, but it's really high intensity movement shooter feel, and there's a bunch of cool mechanics to the game. You can kind of like pull cores out of enemies, which are almost like their hearts, and you can either absorb them for a increased melee attack and some extra health, or you can hit other enemies with it to get ammo back and whatnot. But overall it was just a lot of fun. I have some gameplay playing in the background and I figured we just talk a little bit about it, because I feel like this is actually a niche of FPS games that I feel like go under the radar all too often and definitely deserve some more love. And honestly, I think a lot of people would just enjoy it. I feel like when people talk about FPS games, we exclusively think about PvP experiences and going against other people. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of people who like FPS games just like the immersion aspect and like clicking on dots. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't really care if we're aiming against real people or aiming against AI. It's just the concept of shooting things that's so fun. And I feel like this game, Metal Eden, if I haven't mentioned that, by the way, that is the name of this game, Metal Eden. This isn't marathon gameplay, this is Metal Eden gameplay. I'm pretty sure it comes out later this month, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, early next month. It launches on May 6th. And it says it's going to be on all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and on PC. This isn't a sponsored video, by the way. I've just had a lot of excitement for Marathon and the reveal that they got going on Saturday. And this was kind of a little bit of a taste, or at least a tease, while I wait for other things I'm interested in at the moment to go down. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I could tell from the demo, it really gave me a taste as to like more so how the game would progress in terms of its systems and whatnot. The guns feel really good. Everything kind of flows in a movement shooter kind of way. There's upgrades you can make to your character, kind of from like the movement mechanics your suit is capable of, to your abilities when you actually pull out cores from enemies, to different upgrades to kind of like aid in your survivability. So there's kind of like 3 different paths, or areas of the game to kind of upgrade through, and you can either fully invest into one or kind of spread yourself out evenly through the demo. But throughout the demo, they were like consistently increasing the enemy variety, and then the enemy variety just kind of ties into more difficult things that allow you to fully immerse yourself into the gameplay systems, from the pulling out of the cores to utilizing your movement and all your weapons in a very fluent way. I think a lot of people who like Call of Duty or like Apex or Titanfall, a lot of like really movement based shooters would really enjoy this, because it kind of just tweaks that ADHD fix that a lot of those players are looking for. But yeah, like I said, I think the main reason I put this video together was to just talk about the art style. I don't know if this is like a new wave or like maybe a new trend that we're just going to start seeing in a bunch of new shooters that kind of look like this, but I love the aesthetic of like this game that we're looking at right here, Metal Eden. The weapons, they look super clean. Visually, this game was actually stunning, and it ran pretty well while I was recording at the same time as playing on my PC. I only have like a 3090. Well, 3090 is nothing to joke about, but it's like a 3090. It's a bit dated, and 5950X, and this thing was pulling around 90 FPS in the demo, so I'm sure it'll be a bit more optimized in full launch. I also had all my settings cranked to high. I'm pretty sure I could have gone easily at least 100 or 120 plus FPS if I cranked things to low settings. But I feel like these type of games and this type of art style on low settings are made to still look good. Kind of like Valorant, it's a very minimalistic art style, but it's unique in the way it chooses its colors and, you know, aesthetically kind of sets itself up. I think like my favorite looking gun in this demo was definitely the AR. It's very geometric looking, and it's nice. I don't know, maybe it's just because I haven't seen something like that in a long time, but it's sci-fi, it's refreshing, and I want more of it. So yeah, hopefully Marathon looks something like this when it does come out. This is Metal Eden. Like I said, it comes out May 6th. This wasn't a sponsored video, but yeah, the demo's free. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. I think it's 40 minutes of fun. I would say after playing it that you genuinely wouldn't regret. You'd be like, damn, that was pretty fun. I wish I had more. And it just reminded me of my appreciation for non-PvP games. I think the FPS games can still be great, and we honestly don't see enough like deep and immersive gameplay systems in single player FPS games. I feel like when people think of like single player FPS, you think of Call of Duty campaigns, and let's be real, the story's always like okay, and the gameplay systems don't extend beyond immersion, but this game definitely has actual like gameplay mechanics that really get you invested. When I was playing, there was like a triple jump. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could triple jump in this game, or at least like 2 tiny little boosts after your initial jump. And then you also have a dash on top of those 3 jumps. You can wall run in this game, and you can kind of endlessly loop them together. After you wall run, your jump meter or your power resets, and so you can hit another 3 jumps. There were some upgrades in the movement tree that allowed you to kind of float after you hit a dash if you held shift. And so that was only like the first 2 upgrades on the tree, and there was like a ton of upgrades. So I can only imagine how crazy the movement and kind of like satisfying loop could feel by the end of the playthrough. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this game. I wanted to talk about it today. I thought it was a lot of fun, and let me know what you guys think of the game down in the comment section. Will you be trying this one out? It's kind of weird. I made this video about 2 different games, but definitely found it worth noting. Metal Eden. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you guys want to see more, and we will be reacting to the Marathon gameplay reveal on Saturday. So if you don't want to miss that, turn on notifications as well. Catch you guys in the next one. Keep up, stay up. Peace.